It's actually incredible how bad Clemmer was going last year. And then he comes into this one and he's averaging just under 60 now, especially this last, 7 to 8 weeks. He's absolutely been killing it. Another 65 this week and 76 minutes played. I understand that Saifidi went down, but they're obviously completely trusting him now. And is there a chance that he gets back into that Origin team? It's going to be very, very good to see if he does, because he deserves that crack after... I don't know if he's carrying an injury last year. He just wasn't completely involved. I don't know what Coach Adam O'Brien's got out of him this year, but he's been absolutely killing it. And to top score this week was awesome. And to go along with Frizz, who's continues to be amazing, and we'll see if he makes Origin as well. But obviously doesn't matter too much with the Knights guys because they don't play in round 13 anyway. But our big pick of the week was Toho Harrison, and he come out and got 57 in base. So I was talking to a few people about him. He's just that player that you plug him into your team, it's set and forget. You don't worry about him for the rest of the year, and he's just such an easy watch. He's going to play the big minutes. He's going to not hang his arm out in tackles. He's going to make sure he tackles properly. He gets involved for double efforts, and then attacking stats come as well. Picked up one turnover tackle there, but his, the odd tackle break and offload, once he gets back into his groove, that's where he gets the 65 to 70 average. And we'll see that eventually. For him to get somewhere around that 55 average for the next bit, we'll start to make some cash now. Won't make any money this week. We'll hold fairly close to where he's priced at now, and then we'll start building on that over the next bunch of weeks. I know a lot of people are going to pick him up in round 13 anyway. He's owned by a small percentage now, but if you picked him up this week, you're really happy with the output. And we'll see what happens with guys like Josh Jackson, who we spoke about as a good option as well. But Toho with the 59 was great there. Aiken, for those that still own him, there's 18% there, and obviously a lot of people in the top 5,000 that have held on to him, and he's still priced just under 50 for that 50 average that he's got. So it's good to see him get a 54 there with a couple of tackle breaks, an offload and a turnover tackle to go along with his 46 in base. Really happy with that in a nice 80-minute performance. So good stuff for Aiken. Randall, if you held on to him, you got the 40, so you don't lose too much cash out of him. And the 63 minutes, obviously a lot better than the 40, but the majority of people that are in that top 5,000 have moved on from Randall there. Reecey Walsh, for those that have picked him up, he's still not scoring perfectly, unfortunately. Another 37 from him, had the one try assist. Looks like he's a chance of going through, but just isn't. It's just not happening at the moment. That second-year syndrome's got him a little bit. I'm hoping and assuming that he'll bounce back later in the year, but I just don't think you can pick him up heading into 13. Those people who are talking to me about Johnson, he had a pretty quiet first, half of this game and improved a little bit across the game there. Obviously, four forced dropouts, the one try assist to go along with his kick meters there. So an okay game, but overall, not someone that we want to be looking to push into our side after a couple of good weeks. That's for sure. Jacob Saifidi 37 there. Pompey had a bit of a number. He had Gagai's number, I'd say, for that first bit. He was stepping really well. So good to see from him. He's obviously earned his place in that squad. I wouldn't be looking to select him, but definitely a decent game from him. And Barnett, this is the issue with Barnett that we have to speak about. And the 55 minutes through the middle is completely fine, but it's that 35 to 40 points that he gets every second or third week that really kills him. He has games where he has big numbers and he gets 50 in base and picks up a 60-point effort. And then he has a lot of these games, the 35-40s as well. So just be aware of that, especially if you're picking him up going into round 13. There's usually a reason why he sits in that 550 to 650 bracket is because he just always has these games where he gets the 35-40 and you don't know really why it happens, and it just does. So he's someone just to be aware of. Yes, he's cheaper than a lot of the other guys we've been speaking about, but still someone that is prone to these types of games. Just Savunga only with 41 minutes this game, so it's a little bit of an issue. If you're looking to select him or you've had him in your squad, if you picked him up this week, even worse. But we stick with him for 13 and then work him out from there. But definitely not his best score. But the PPM was fine. It's just the amount of minutes in this one, unfortunately. For Alea, for anyone who owns him, still you're going to make a tiny bit of cash now. So 33 coming off of 30 last week. Well done to owners. Let's see how far he can go. Freddie Lussig's had a nice line break through the middle there at the start of the game, and he's definitely doing a job for these Warriors. That's for sure. Ponga with 29 again, so one of those players that, like Walsh, he just hasn't kicked on this season. It's a bit of a strange one. He's really forcing it. Like there's that pass early in the game, that bullet spiral pass to Edric Lee's ankles that end up with a knock on there. It's just a bit clunky, unfortunately, and I'm assuming he'll get the one jersey for Queensland. You watch him come out and kill it, as always. It was decent to see Milford have a solid game. To be honest, I was pretty happy with his output. Obviously running the ball. A couple of decent little kicks. He had one forced dropout in there and just doing bits and pieces. And I think he was a solid game for him. Gags hasn't got back to his superstardom that he had at the beginning of the year. And that's what we've got to think about with outside backs in average teams, that they're going to have these lower games. And it's crazy how good he started the beginning of the year there. Edric with 25, you still own him. You've got Dommy Young with 12, Matty Croker, if you own him, a 9, so 16 minutes, not ideal for him. And Saifidi looks like he's going to be out for an extended period of time and got to miss some, at least the first Origin, so not good for Saifidi, and leaves an opportunity for someone to come in and start in Origin, that's for sure. All right, the Bunnies beat the Tigs, and a great start from Tigers, 10-0 for a good portion of this game, and then got taken over by a few of their guns. Campbell Graham, a nice double from Walker through there. Cook doing his thing through the middle, running plenty. So there's a lot going on. So, Havili had a great game as well. Campbell, awesome game for him. 3 tries, assist and a try. Really staking his claim for Origin. I personally think he should be there. We'll have to see. Is it going to be him and Katoni Sags? A little bit of news that just came out. It sounds like Angus Crichton might be missing out. So if you picked up Crichton, you are looking beautiful at the moment. And looks like Angus Crichton, Stephen Crichton looks like he's going to get that wing spot with Daniel Tupou and Addo Carr to miss out. So very interesting, and no Brian Toto as well. So we'll obviously find out later this afternoon after the games are finished. They'll announce that team, but crazy scenes out there at the moment. But Campbell 75, Cook with 70, so he just continues to dominate and would have been the best captaincy option this week if you decide to pull the trigger on that. He's been amazing all year. If you own him, you're absolutely killing it. Havili, obviously a great one there. He's made a decent amount of cash this year, actually, surprisingly. So getting some decent minutes off the bench for Bunnies, and a big congratulations to Alex Johnson for breaking the Rabbitohs try-scoring record. I actually played rep cricket against this fella, so pretty cool journey that he debuted so young, 18, 19, and has played the majority of games. You never really see Johnson injured, so obviously the longevity there has been great, and he's got a heap of years to go. He's only 27, so incredible work, Johnson. Well done to you. Murray comes back. Obviously, a majority of people got rid of him, but a nice 59 in the 61 minutes. I was expecting those kind of minutes this week. No need for him to go the full 80, especially when they're winning too. So well done to Muzz, and then we've got Cody Walker with a 59 as well. So it was going pretty light, and then picked up 2 tries in a matter of 5-10 minutes there. So good stuff for Walks. Brooks was solid as well, a lot better than what Mr. Hastings was, unfortunately. Ruined my head-to-head team. Anyway, we'll get there. Arrow with 49, so you saw the bench make up for the Bunnies there, and he had to play the 80 minutes on the edge. He was okay if you still own him. Dane Laurie, a solid return game from him. Lei Lua, I think he has to go if you own him, just hasn't been scoring well enough. Offengawe with a lower score for him. 7 missed tackles was kind of the killer, but 59 in base to go along with a bunch of other negatives there. You had the negative 17, so lost all of that. Great work there, but that's happens sometimes. Simpkin with a solid one if you own him. Mr. Simp. Garner with 38. A few people asked me about him. I just think he's a strange price, and he's never been a superstar. Like, he's always got up to that 500, 550, that kind of price, and he has games like this in him, and that was including a try saver. So obviously the 42 in base, but the 6 misses hurt him a little bit there. Right, Ilias he was a -4 for a good portion of that first half. So for him to come out and get 32 with a couple of assists and a try saver, very, very important for us owners of him, that he manages to at least hold price before we look to move him on. And he probably should be moved on this week. And if you don't this week, then you potentially hold him all the way through the 18, if we're being honest there. So that's something to think about. How cheap Stefano going to be? And what about the fall from grace, unfortunately, for him? Obviously, didn't have a great start to the year, got injured, and then he's coming back off the bench and he's doing okay, but 30 run meters, it's not really enough. Hastings, so 2 bad weeks in a row for him. He's made a lot of money, and then it was going super well and dominating, and then just the last 2 weeks now just hasn't been great. Running the ball a little bit less, kicking a lot less in general play. Like, Brooks is obviously kicking a fair bit more. He had 270 meters, so it's strange that since they've started losing the last couple of weeks, he hasn't been in full control. I don't know why that's changed. Like, Hastings has been the one that's been really dominant for him and doing a great job. So very, very strange one there as to what we do with him. do you cut your losses and move on, or do we think that he can bounce back? I think that definitely should be a great chance of bouncing back. But yeah, definitely up to you on that one. Tuolangi was 16, so he actually got some decent minutes through that first period of the game, and just the PPM wasn't really there. They ran the ball a bit, but the 3 missed tackles and the error, not ideal. Blake Taff off the bench, he's the one that needs to go first, I think, over him and Ilias. That would be the way to go. And a bunch of people asked me about Faamanu Brown as being an option, and he got 18 minutes. So this is, he absolutely dominated last week in 30 odd minutes for 60. It was definitely not going to happen every week, especially in a Tigers team, but that was that. And Cody Nikorima, not an amazing game for him. 3 goals was okay, but 22 run meters for a fullback, not great. That's for sure, especially when they dominated a lot of it. He should have been in a good part of that game, but yeah, was not at all. So with Sharks and the Roosters, it's great to see the Roosters play really good again. And when the Roosters play good, we know who goes well, and that's Mr. Tedesco. 81 points there in the 80 minutes. So the try, a couple of try assists, 9 tackle breaks, a couple of offloads, 238 meters, a couple of kick defusals. He was spectacular. And a great pickup for anyone who got him 3 weeks ago when we were talking about him as a buy and a replacement for Paps. He's gone mid-50s, and then at 81. So up where he should be scoring, really, with Teddy. So, yeah, great work from him. And if you picked up McInnes in the last few weeks, you're really happy with his output as well. Obviously got 2 line breaks and a try there to go along with his 46 in base. Always hoping for a few extra minutes, but when his output's like that, he's super happy. And we obviously spoke about Butcher being a must-have last week, and thankfully the last 2 weeks he's really helped me out and shown that pick's been a decent one with a 58, now a 65 this game with the try and the line break there. 36 tackles for him and the 130 meters, so the 49 in base to go along with that. The offloads and the tackle breaks. He's a special player. Him and his brother there, they've got a pretty cool family there of great players. So he's going to bump up a lot of money this week, and he's going to very, very quickly get to 700k. So definitely is still potentially an option heading into round 13, and getting 80 minutes on that edge. Tupanua's doing okay, and he's going to be on the bench probably for the foreseeable future. And it sounds like Crichton's not going to be away for Origin, so very interesting. And he then becomes he then should be on everyone's radar, with him being priced around the 50 mark, and he could be someone that's a 55, 60 scorer very easily. Good to see him running the ball a fair bit more. Over 100 meters is great for him with the, he's going to have offloads and tackle breaks in that, and obviously got a try assist as well. So 62 for Crichton, really, really nice score for him. And you're definitely on everyone's radar heading into next week if he's not in that Origin side. Obviously has the potential to play in 17, if you know what I mean, like in terms of Origin, but that doesn't, it's not going to affect him anyway because he would have a bye in that round. So that's that. Manu obviously showing his dominance as well. He had a quieter first half and then picked up that try at the end. And a bunch of attacking stats, 200 meters gained. If he can continue to get 200 meters, he will be playing fullback next week as well, so he'll get the 200 easily and should be getting scores over that 50 mark, and he's priced where he's at now at 44. So Manu definitely an option heading into next week. If you had Nico Hines as captain like myself, you're a little bit disappointed, but when Cleary got 63, it's only 8 points that you're missing out on. So not too bad, but we're definitely worried about him. I think he was like 12 or something through 33 minutes. So definitely an improvement. Obviously gets his standard offloads and runs the ball a lot, but the Sharks just weren't up to it last night when the Roosters played really well. They tried to come back. They had an opportunity to do so, and then that weird penalty when Kennedy was offside at the play of the ball stuffed them up a little bit. But Hines, the 55, he's almost at $1 million really sneakily. So 373k gained for Nico. Been a special player all year for fantasy, that's for sure. Tupou's just had a nice solid year as well. It sounds like he's going to get his debut. Not his debut. He's going to return back into the Origin scene there, and he completely deserves it. He's getting better and better every year, I think, and he's just been a stalwart in this Roosters side and continues to dominate for them. Takaaho with 53, a nice game for him as well. He's been much improved the last bunch of weeks in the minutes that he's getting, so happy days for him. Watson with a decent score as well. There's so many players over 50 in this game. It's incredible. I've spoken about so many, and I'm still haven't even got under 50. So hopefully he had a bunch of plays in this one. Mulatalo obviously as well, a great game for him. He just looks so electric in amongst a team that has been scuffling a little bit the last month for sure. Nakora was okay. Kiri I spoke about as being a decent buy, and he was in great numbers, about 40 in 55, 60 minutes, and then slowed down at the end, unfortunately. But yeah, a nice line break for him. Tackles have been good. Run meters and kick meters have been solid, and just obviously the lack of attacking stats in this one stopped him from getting a 55, 60. But obviously a 48 is getting him to gain some cash, and you'll be fairly happy with that heading into next week, where he's going to have to be pretty dominant with guys like Teddy out for sure. Sammy Walker, if you're holding on to him, the 44 was solid as well. Talakai, if you held on to him, 44, also 8 tackle breaks in this one, and the try assist was good, but just the no tries. We obviously need him to get out and dominate, a few line breaks and try assists and stuff like that for him to do well, and he just hasn't done that yet. So he'll continue to lose a bit of cash. He'll be somewhere around, he'll bottom out somewhere in the 550 to 580, I'd say. He's been solid enough, but yeah, not great. Tracy's been cool since he's come back. He's made a bit of cash, and he'll continue to do so with that nice 43. Teague Wilton, we said that you could probably hold him now that Graham is going to be out, but I think Teague is a sell now for sure. So they don't play next week, obviously, and it's time for him to go. If you still own him, there's a small percentage of 2.6. I'd be moving him on. And then guys like Moylan, Fletcher Baker, if you got Tupanua, he has to go, for example. There's 4% that own him. Hasn't been good enough. Do you trade him out heading into round 13? You're just going to lose a lot of cash with him off that bench, unfortunately. And unless he's going to be starting in the 11 or 12 role, then I think he needs to be moved on. A nice little debut for Hazleton, by the way. A little shout out to him. And Suali'i with he's definitely looking better and better each and every week, I think. But that 4 really kills him. And going off with the head knock as well. So that was that. And then we had Will Kennedy with a -4 in the 80 minutes. So he's not like he was terrible at all, but 5 missed tackles, the penalty, the error wasn't ideal for him to get a -7 on the tackles front. -4. He's done this a few times, to be honest. So yeah, 150k down this year. Hasn't played as well, but obviously they've improved their team around him. And yeah, that's that. So there's the 3 games, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. There's obviously plenty of information. If you're looking for the guys to speak about or think about on Sunday night, Monday, when you're trying to work out trades for your team, jump back into all these videos and check them out. Obviously, there's a decent amount of people doing that already, but I think there could be some more. I get a lot of questions at the start of the week, whether it's a Monday or the Sunday night, or what should I do with this guy, or even during the weekend. And if you just jump in, I obviously go through each of the relevant players, so you can actually get my thoughts and announcements, whatever you need from these videos. If you are liking these, hit like, hit subscribe. Love to have you guys here for more, and jump into the Discord group. It's an amazing community there, and we'll continue to build that into the future. See you later, guys. Have a cracking Sunday.